How's it sound?
Sounds great.
Really good.
And this is just a plain old everyday Shure SM57. And the thing that really kind of drew my attention wasn't so much the microphone itself, because, I mean, everybody has SM57s. It was this filter, this pop filter.
Except me.
Yeah. And, ooh, what's in the magic box?
Yes.
All right. Let me get the socials going here. I'm a little behind.
Whoops. No. I almost quit Zoom.
Don't do that.
Yeah. No, that would be a bad thing.
All right.
I can get rid of Safari. Okay, where's my... I already hit the document. Where's the document? Open the document. There we go.
All right. Why am I having trouble? Hello, everybody on YouTube.
Oi! Greetings and salutations. And I only have one screen. My other monitor is out.
Man, you're just having bad luck. You got your Mac
I
Mini.
am. And, you know, the weird thing is what I've always done with the Mac Mini, because I have the OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock.
Yeah, so
It's got a DisplayPort output. So I have a DisplayPort to HDMI converter, and then an HDMI cable going to the second monitor. Well, for whatever reason, that's now gone out. So tomorrow I'm supposed to get a direct DisplayPort 2.1 to HDMI cable. But I don't have it yet. So I am down to a single monitor, which just sucks.
Yeah.
I blame someone other than myself.
It's all Tim Cook's fault.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to blame Tim Robertson just because that's what I do.
Yeah, why not?
At OWC, that works.
Oh, he's not
No.
easy.
No, he's with my Mac.
Oh.
MyMac.com podcast.
With Guy and Gaz.
I'd help to spell your name right, Ben.
Yeah.
Where's Jeff?
My cat is trying to
Jeff
get on
is
the
not gonna-
cast.
Be able to make it. Yes, he was going to make it. We're live. I'm not saying anything. All right. It's like I can. Wait.
I don't know if you can see. Is this unseeable, hopefully?
What? Oh, no, you're fine. Maybe your eye?
Okay. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Because it feels puffy, and it feels like there's pressure, and
I bet.
it's just been like one goddamn thing after another this year. I swear to God.
Damn it.
It was the cellulitis last July, just before Macstock. And then I catch COVID while bowling. Can you believe I go to Chicago, New York, Florida,
And you get it in your bowling league.
Ohio, not a problem. I go to work every day for 2 hours. I'm going to the grocery store during the pandemic. I go bowling on a Wednesday night and I catch COVID. It's like, you bastards.
Well, I caught it during a concert, so.
Well, yeah, but you almost expect that because you're in this
Yeah.
like huge group of, well, not expect it, but if it was going to happen, then it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm in this big group of people. So, you know, the possibility is there, but I'm there with like 2 or 3 other people. And then the one guy that found out waited 2 days before he told me. So, of course, my wife then catches it too. Not that she probably would have anyway, but we would have at least tried to self-isolate.
Are you on Mastodon? I just found you.
Pardon?
You are on Mastodon.
Yeah.
I found
And it's Mac Parrot over in Mastodon.
Mastodon.social.
as well as Counter Social.
Yeah.
And of course, Twitter as well.
Yep. All right, got that. Always allow. Just got my notification on Mastodon.
Boo, 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 boo.
Oh, I cleared out all the passwords in Firefox and have to sign back in everything.
Firefox.
All right. It's on your mind. This is on my mind. There we go. That. You don't come as Mac Parrot on the. That. There we go. We're on the socials.
Leo, you're not getting on the show. This is not kitty time.
Did Leo say something?
Leo.
My black cat that is fortunately being
your
filtered
cat.
out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Your cat's name is Leo. I forgot that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Leo Laporte. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was too. It was like, the hell, is Leo Laporte is watching us?
I was like, what?
And my cat's names are Jelly and Kismet. And the door is closed, so they can't get in here.
Until they start scratching. Okay, looks like I'm ready. Got all the notes. Let me start the rest of the recordings. This. And I need audio hijack to make sure that works. Don't want to forget. Looks good. And looks like I can still hear you guys, right?
Yep.
Very good. We're on episode 245. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to episode 245 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and Guy Searle, you're back on the show. How you doing, Guy?
Hey, it's good to be here with all my various ailments. That if you guys were here before the show started, you would know every single health problem I currently have.
Yeah.
But you weren't, so you won't.
That was appreciated.
Yeah.
And I also have joining us this week Ben Rethick. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good. Currently, I don't have any health ailments flaring up.
That's
other than that little zit, but I can deal with that.
That's the least of your worries, right?
Yeah.
No, I'll take a zit any day.
Compared to what you've been doing.
Compared to what I've gone through these last couple of weeks is like a zit. Yeah. All right. I'm rocking that.
Give me all the acne.
Yeah.
So we got lights at I'm gonna move on here. We got lots to talk about this week. Make sure everybody who is live here, go to youtube.com/intouchwithios. I see Paul in the chat. How you doing, Paul? Thanks for being here. You can join us in the chat and interact with us during the live sessions here. If not, you can watch it later. But we got lots to talk about, all kinds of news this week, different kinds of stuff, and Apple's doing everything and everything. I'll just betas start coming. Got another version, Apple Music Classical. We're gonna have a good talk about that. iCloud and a few other things here. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the news for this week. First story here is Apple Card savings account feature is nearing its launch. Goldman Sachs had this week, this past week, updated its Apple Card customer agreement to provide additional clarity about the upcoming daily cash savings account feature. Changes in the agreement are minor, but suggests that the feature is getting close. The daily cash section of that agreement has been updated to provide additional clarity, making the daily cash election, all that other fun stuff. They've announced this back in October, so it's been quite a while since this is happening here. So it will be managed through the wallet app on the iPhone. Apple has yet to reveal what the account's APY is going to be, but Goldman Sachs' existing market savings account is currently at currently starting at 3.75%. That's pretty good. But they did see some groundwork in the iOS 16.4 beta code. Ben, is this? Do you have an Apple Card? Would you sign up for that? Are you going to sign up for this?
I don't have an Apple Card.
Okay. So you won't.
But I mean, this is definitely going in Apple's steps towards establishing itself in the financial sector.
Absolutely.
I think the next step after this will be an Apple Card checking account and debit.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility too. It's going to be interesting to see where Apple goes with financial stuff. The Apple Card is hugely successful, that's for sure. Guy, you have an Apple Card. Is this something you might use?
I mean, I'm not exactly quite sure how it's supposed to work. So basically, all of the cash back that you get from your purchases goes into this account, or can you put your own money into it as well?
I believe you can do both.
Okay, well. Depending on what their interest rate is, I would be very interested. I've got a pretty good chunk because I like to stay relatively fluid as far as cash and savings and all the rest of that goes. So I've got a pretty good chunk of money that if the interest rate is good enough that I could definitely just pop into that, because when I do, because recently I have given some cash out of the Apple Card to both my sons for various reasons, nothing sinister. And if I could just do that direct instead of going through a savings account at my bank, then yeah, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? It would definitely be something to take advantage of. So let's hope it's coming soon. That's for sure. And yes, there is a yellow iPhone.
In gold.
And it's yellow. Apple did announce this past week the new yellow color option for the iPhone 14 and the 14 Plus. As it had been rumored, they did announce this color option for those models, and also some cases we'll talk about in a minute. It'll be available for pre-order, which, as we record this tomorrow, on the Friday, the March 10th, and with availability on March 14th. There are no new color options for the Pro or the Pro Max, and that Apple did put out a press release talks about this. And they go through the normal spiel. They announced the yellow iPhone 14, 14 Plus, adds more color choices to the lineup. Beautifully designed, built to last, and all that stuff. And ceramic shield front cover, just like all we know. So now that joins there is now, what is that? 7 colors that are available, or 6 colors. Yeah. 6 colors available. And that fits to what Apple's been since its beginning, has 6 colors. What do you think, Guy? I know you're not in the market to buy a new phone, let alone a yellow one, right?
No, I'm still pretty happy with the 13. When the 15 comes out, assuming that it has USB-C, that will interest me. That may entice me to go ahead and get a new phone. It's great that Apple has a new color phone, but shame on the Mac press for saying, "Oh, new phone from Apple." It's like, no, it's not. It's not a new phone. Just stop it. It's just another color. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah,
color.
It's just a color, for crying out. Just like when the purple came out, and people were making a big deal about that. And So, man, I know you're happy with. You have the iPhone 12, if I remember correctly.
I have the 12 Pro Max.
Turbo Max, right?
Which is still just as fast as the day I got it. I have to say, as far as new colors goes, this is probably the least desirable one, I think, in the last few years. It's right. Great if you wanted to put it with the peeps in your Easter basket.
I didn't think about that. That's great.
But, yellow kind of seems like there's no other colors, so I'll take this since I really need a new phone type of color.
Well, the iPhone 14 Pro, and I thought that this was a new color as well. It has a gold colored one. It's actually that's actually quite attractive. I mean, it's not going to tempt me to go out and get a brand new phone, but it's a good color. I was kind of surprised because I mean, all of the colors that Apple currently has with their phones are more like matte colors. There's nothing really shiny in there as compared to the Pros, and I think that would have tempted more people than just saying, "Okay, here's a yellow one." It's like, okay, yellow, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to see gold return, but
Yeah.
to be honest, I was kind of hoping a return to blue for the spring, and instead on the Pro and Pro Max we got nada.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just left it as is. I have the one that was purple, and I'm happy with it. It's not anything bad.
Yep.
I always like to go with the new color that comes out on the Pro line.
Well, I've got the blue 13, and I'd show it to you, but I'm currently using it as a webcam. So
Same.
I had the blue for the 13 when the 13 was out too. I like that color.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, I guess, well, in my opinion, I think Apple's just trying to generate some more interest in the iPhone, especially the 14 Plus, which, as we know, the Plus is not selling very well. Because everybody wants the Pros, and this maybe they think it's gonna entice people with some that like yellow, and we'll see. I'd be interested to see if it even sells that well out there. So. Next, a couple stories here relates to more new products. There are 14 new silicon cases now available in 4 new colors, adding to the yellow option. You have a yellow case, so you can keep that yellow color as a trend here. So each case is going to be available for the 14 Plus, and the 14 Pro, and the 14 Pro Max. So you can get all those colors. Looks like a green and a purple case, and more that aqua color, canary yellow, olive, sky, and iris is the names of the colors.
Iris.
Iris, yes, because I guess that's kind of a blue. So you could, and I have never been a fan. I mean, I used to buy these silicon Apple iPhone cases, and they always wear out. I just gave up on them. I just don't buy them anymore.
The part that's always cracked me up is Apple comes out with every single phone, Apple comes out with a new color. So people are like, well, I want the military green one. I want the yellow one. I want the blue one, whatever the new color is. And then they immediately cover it in a case that is not that color or black, and it's like, what was the point of you picking that color if you were going to choose a case that covered it up? And actually, Dave, you gave me 2 cases at Macstock last year.
Yeah, the spec cases.
Yes. And for a while, I was using this one case, and I may use it again when I travel, that has a little pocket on the side, and I can and it actually came with like these little pair of spectacles. Mm-hmm. So, because I'm always forgetting my glasses when we go out to dinner or whatever, so I have to borrow my wife's glasses so I can see the menu. But when I have that case on my phone, it's just like, zip, pull it out, check whatever it is, and it just sits on the bridge of my nose. But once I wasn't really traveling anymore, it was like, I got this blue iPhone, and it's gorgeous, and I've got it covered with this black case. So I took the clear case that you gave me, which is what I'm currently using with it, and it's like, that just makes so much sense. Why spend the time and effort to get an iPhone that has a particular color and then cover it with a different colored case? I don't get it. Yeah, just get a clear case. Spec makes some great cases.
No, here is mine right here. I have a clear case there.
And here's mine. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, I have a different iPhone using as a case. Yeah. So good.
I sometimes use this one. This is my old.
I do like the clear case because it. I'm showing it on camera here. That shows the color of the phone.
Yes,
and it's clear. And spec. I've been using spec cases for years. I think they make really good ones. Real good.
They do. Ones. They make good computer cases too, laptop cases.
Yep. So, all right.
Welcome to the Spec Show.
The Spec Show.
In touch with cases.
In touch with cases, yeah. And of course, they also had to, along with the cases and the the yellow iPhone 14, they had announced 20 new Apple Watch bands and AirTag accessories, including, of course, you got to have the Hermes Cacique line. So they came out with in the Solo Loop and the Sports Band, you have Sprout Green, Canary Yellow, Olive, and Purple Fog. And then the Sport Band is Sky, Bright Orange, and Olive. And then the braided Solo Loop, you got Bright Orange, Purple, Fog, and Olive. It says Apple's collaboration with Hermes is a bit for high-end Apple Watches were also refreshed, and also some AirTag accessories. I won't go through all that. There's a bunch of different colors for Hermes. You spend about $200 or $300 for that band. And then there's also a Hermes AirTag bag charm, now available in Bamboo and Rose Azali. While the AirTag Hermes keyring is available in those colors as well. So for those of you who like to do a little splurging on some of those high-end items, now you can.
Yeah, don't leave them outside your bag. If anything would tempt somebody to steal your AirTag and probably just toss the AirTag in the trash, since you can track them after they did it, would be just to get the case.
Yeah. The AirTag case costs more than the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't even see I probably should look to see what the pricing is. Yeah, $300 for oh my God, $300 for an AirTag Hermes bag charm.
What is wrong with you people?
Yeah, or
just cut it out.
There's other colors besides the new ones too. Oh my god!
Or you could wait 3 months and get the knockoff for $25.
There you go.
3 months, more like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just going over to Alibaba.
Yeah. There you go. So check it out. Anything that interests you and all those things. So. Apple did announce this week that the satellite feature that we've been talking about in many past shows launched in 6 more countries. It'll be later this month as we record. It'll be available in Austria, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, and Portugal later this month. Our friend Patrice will be very happy about Austria. And of course, we know that it features the connection to the Global Star satellite, being able to get text messages and emergency services when you're outside of a range of cellular and Wi-Fi coverage. And we've heard plenty of stories of it's being very successful, and also plenty of stories that it's made some not so emergency calls, like people who are out skiing and doing things that they normally do, and they fell, but they're supposed to fall when you ski. So what do you think, Ben?
I mean, anything that makes people safer is good.
Yeah, no, I think this is a great new feature on the iPhone, and I'm ecstatic that it has that. So it's funny. I get people come up to me, since as everybody knows, I do IT support. Someone came up to me and says, "Oh, why does my phone say SOS?" And I'm just like, "Okay, we're in a hotel. We're in a hotel that's surrounded by metal and brick, and you're not getting, for some reason, not getting reception in this room, so it's on SOS." So. Anything you want to add on that, guy?
Yeah. If you have fallen or whatever, if you're skiing, turn off emergency services, just do whatever you have to do so that the actual people, emergency response people, don't have to come and find out that you just put your phone down too hard because you didn't get enough ketchup for your McDonald's fries. Okay. So
that's a good analogy.
Just don't. I'm very cynical tonight. I don't know why.
That's okay.
There should really be a winter activities mode.
Yeah. It's like, no, I just fell down the mountain. Well, wait, maybe I need emergency services.
Next story here. I'm excited about this because I'm a big baseball fan. T-Mobile did confirm its free MLB.TV offer will return this year. I was a little worried they hadn't announced it, and they usually announce it by the end of February, before about almost second week in March here. And the app is updated for the 2023 season, and like I said, they officially confirmed it. So you have to go to T-Mobile Tuesdays as a T-Mobile customer and be able to get the subscription through the T-Mobile Tuesdays app. And you have from March 28th through Monday, April 3rd to jump in there. All you have to do is have the T-Mobile Tuesdays app installed, and then of course the MLB app as well. So exciting things in there. MLB is trying to, it has expressed its desire to remove the blackout restrictions that we've been dealing with for what, 50 years?
Ever.
Yeah.
Forever since TV existed. But deals with local TV networks currently prevent them from that from happening. And Apple had dipped its toe in the water last year with Friday Night Baseball with those god-awful announcers. But it is returning this year. I'm not sure if
New announcers.
I hope it's some new. I hope there's some new announcers because those were horrible. They were horrible, I should say. So nice bonus. I've loved that, and it just makes me more happy of being a T-Mobile customer just for having that. What do you think, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, people who like baseball should be very happy about this, and T-Mobile with their like Tuesday offers. And I always forget to check it on Tuesday. It's usually like Wednesday afternoon. It's like, oh, smack, too late. But I still think that Apple is kind of missing a bet. There's lots of other sports leagues out there that, and I mean, there's the XFL and the USFL, but there's also there's rugby. Well, I'm just saying, there's also like a national rugby league here in the United States. And I know they have like a deal with Major League Soccer.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Why not kind of expand your sports offerings a little bit with some of the other leagues that are out there?
Not just getting there. They tried with the NFL. Obviously, that crashed and burned because they wanted.
Well, the problem with the NFL is their broadcast rights are so splintered. Well, actually, so is Major League Baseball for that matter. That it's really hard to bring something new to the table that you can't get from some other provider, possibly for less money, which is why, put some money out there and go for some of the new stuff.
Yeah.
XFL, USFL, sorry.
You love those leagues. What do you think?
I do.
Any thoughts on that, Ben?
As a T-Mobile customer, I am very, very happy.
Yes.
Because the ironic thing, I will be able to get almost every single Major League franchise that isn't the Cubs.
That's true, but at least you can watch the Cubs because you're not in the market.
True. Yeah, I
you're
am in the
market agnostic. Are you? Are they? Where you live is considered the market?
Yep, I'm technically in the market for 6 different MLB franchises.
Oh, because of minor league baseball.
Yep. It is Cubs, Sox, Brewers, Twins, Royals, and Cardinals.
Wow, didn't know that. That's
what about the Brooklyn Dodgers? How are they doing this year?
Yeah, if you lived back in 1956, maybe.
That was my father's team. He hated the Yankees with a passion.
A lot of people do.
I like him already.
Yeah. Yep. Me too. And then adding to that with sports, we did talk about the MLS and you still actually can get that deal through the T-Mobile Tuesday. It seems as they've carried it over every week since they released it like about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But Apple does have a deal with MLS that includes an opt-out clause if enough people don't subscribe. Apple and Major League Soccer did kick off the 10-year partnership, and everything seemed to be going okay according to the plan opening weekend on Apple TV. And it said there was a deal that Apple could walk away from this deal at any point. And of course, the deal gives exclusive streaming rights to all MLS matches. So that kind of bothers people that I don't think you can watch any MLS games other than if you have Apple TV Plus, if I'm not mistaken. So they are, of course, not talking about the terms of the deal, but hey, kudos to Apple. They jumped into this, paid some good money for it, and now they can walk away if they got a clause saying how many subscribers they get. So what do you think, Ben?
It's very much a new type of deal. So there's a lot of risk for both Apple and Major League Soccer. I mean, for Apple, I mean, let's be honest, MLS is pretty much the fifth tier of professional sports in this country after football, basketball, baseball, and hockey.
Yep.
For MLS, they got out of the RSN model at pretty much the right time.
Yep.
But still, nobody has tried this before. This is probably what MLB and the NHL and the NBA are going to do later in the month once all the RSNs fail. But I think
That Real Sports Network.
What?
What is RSN?
Regional sports networks.
Okay.
Yeah, because AT&T, Sportsnet, and a lot of those other like Bally's is they're all going bankrupt. So
yeah, and that's more than half the teams.
Yeah, not in my market here, but and probably not your market either, guy. But there are a lot of them. I mean, I know in Vegas is the AT&T Sportsnet. They're gonna like the Golden Knights probably will have to find a new home. So.
What, the team itself or their broadcast rights?
The broadcast, yeah. AT&T is once out. They don't find it sustainable anymore. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, this is where other networks, and we're talking Hulu, we're talking YouTube TV, we're talking Apple TV, all of these secondary streaming services that try to bundle as much as they can into them. This is like their opportunity to jump in and say, okay, well, because the league that ends up getting a raw deal here, Apple doesn't have any problems with this whatsoever. It's MLS that could end up becoming completely screwed and have absolutely no way to broadcast their games and have to make quick deals that's not going to get them anywhere near what it's actually probably worth for longer periods of time than they normally would have done. So, Apple is not hurting for money here, and if you're really, really, really trying to build a network around your own movies and your own television shows and your own content. Well, live sports is like the final frontier. This is where you need to go.
Right.
And I think Apple is missing a huge bet here by not locking in MLS and giving them the guarantees that they need so that they know that they're not going to have to worry about it down the road, as well as other sports networks.
Yep. Nope.
That shall remain nameless.
Yep. Definitely going to be interesting to see where that goes. So, got more stories before we move on to the topics for this week. Ivory, which is a great app for Mastodon, is now letting users create your Mastodon account directly from the app. It's a new client, that's from I believe it's Tapbots, right, Ben? That it has created this, and now they're going to allow you to be able to create your Mastodon account right from Ivory with its new version 1.3. It's good, exciting to see. I'm liking Mastodon. I need to get more heavily on it. I think a lot of us have been kind of just back and forth. They're still in that Twitter world, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of eyeballs on Twitter that you can't ignore either. So, yeah, I think this is good. Ivory's of all the ones. I mean, I like Ivory, and Ben, what you like Ivory, or do you like Ice Cubes? I think you like, right?
I'm currently using Ice Cubes, but kind of slowly transitioning over to Ivory. Yeah. There's still a few features that it's missing, like the quote feature. But overall, I think in the future, Ivory is going to be the app to get.
Yeah, Tapbots makes some great. There's a great developer, makes good apps there. Are you using any of the apps, a guy on Mastodon? You're still pretty new with iMastodon, right?
Yeah, and I keep going over there and trying to see what's going on. But the way that it's configured, at least for me, it really still doesn't have I can't even think of the right word. The same oomph that Twitter has. And I mean, I've seen a lot of people say, well, I'm leaving Twitter and I'm never coming back. And then you see, a month later, they're they're right back there again because they weren't able to get the same type of
Right.
not coverage. What's the word I'm looking for?
Interaction.
Yeah,
Interaction.
the same kind of interaction that you got with Twitter, and that's going to be a really tough hurdle for other Twitter-like social media servers or services like Mastodon, like Counter Social, like so many of these other ones. And the other problem, of course, is just getting and Mastodon didn't do itself any favors either by making it just so bloody hard to get an account running on it. And as I understand it, Ivory is supposed to make that much easier now.
Yeah, it is. So, two more quick stories here. Of course, as we've been talking about, Ted Lasso is coming back out, going to be out March 15th. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's like about a week away from here, less than a week away as we record this. But the latest today at Apple session at the Apple stores now lets you create a Believe and poster, Ted Lasso poster with an iPad and an Apple Pencil. So what you can do is you go. It's a new session called the Pop-Up Studio. Make your own Ted Lasso poster. It kicks off this week as we record at Apple store locations around the world. You just got to go to their website. Articles in the show notes. It just kind of gets people into more with Ted Lasso, and everybody's just so crazed over it. And the next 12 weeks are just going to be glued to that, watching every episode at least twice.
Yep. Gets you glued. Gets you into the Apple store too. So,
that too. So maybe you'll buy a few things too. Yeah, I don't know much else we could say. Ted Lasso is awesome. I think all of us love it. But Ben, I'm assuming you do.
Oh yeah, it's funny as hell.
No, yeah, it's a great show. And then he didn't. Jason Sudeikis, I didn't include this in another article, but he did say that for sure this is the last season. But they might spin something off with another character. Who knows what'll happen? So,
I wonder which character they could be talking about.
Yeah. Hard to say. So that should be interesting. So check it out. I think it's gonna be fun. Then the last story here is another show that's on Apple TV that I've actually been really enjoying too. Is Shrinking. That's with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. It's a comedy, and it's already being renewed for a second season, and I'm not surprised at all. It's a great. It's got great reviews from the audience and critics alike, and of course Apple doesn't share the numbers, but it's been the number one spot on the U.S. TV Plus chart. But of course I'm sure it's gonna topple when Ted Lasso comes back next week. So it's got a lot of star power, and you got Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. It's got huge draws, but it was also written and produced by Bill Lawrence and Brett Goldstein, which of course are also part of Ted Lasso. So that's why it probably is a good show, and it is because I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
It's a very dark comedy. Yeah, I've been.
It is. What do you think? You've been liking it, guy?
I have been liking it, and I'm not. And to be honest, I'm not sure why, because Harrison. I love Harrison Ford, but he's kind of just walking through this role. It doesn't seem like he's really putting a lot into it. Jason Segel, I've always loved him in nearly everything I've seen him in.
Yep.
His character, honestly. And it's understandable because his wife has passed away and he's feeling guilty because the last time they were together, there was bad words between them, and he's got this really contentious relationship with his daughter, and it just, as I'm watching it, I'm laughing and going, why am I laughing? These people are miserable. It's almost like a new Seinfeld in a way, where you've got all these great characters, and they're doing just these things that are just completely off the wall and wacky. I love the guy with like the anger issues, and Jason Segel is the one that ends up getting beaten up at the game that he kind of drags into. But it's a good show, and I'm just not sure why I like it so much.
Yeah,
which is a really weird thing to say.
I haven't seen it yet, but
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, I thought you did.
everything. Yeah, thanks for the spoilers, guy.
Hey, no
I was gonna
problem.
say, no spoilers. Stop it.
Anthony
Apple
Perkins is
hasn't-
his own mother.
Yep, Apple has been absolutely blowing it out of the park.
They're
with
just
quality
knocking it out of
those
the park with
shows.
these shows. Yeah, more and more are coming, and I'm just so I'm happy to be a subscriber. They're giving us some great content. So, all right, then let's go ahead and move on to the topics this week. One new OS release was which was surprising. We can highlight it this week is tvOS. 16.3.3 came out, and it was a fix to fix the Siri remote on the latest Apple TV. So it's for the latest model that came out in September. It is also going to apply to the other older models as well, and that came out just a month after 16.3.2, and usually the updates are minor in scale. So the reason why this update came out was because the Siri remote was becoming unresponsive, and I kind of experienced that because I do have a third gen 4K. But all the information is in the article I shared in the show notes. I don't think there's much else we could say about that other than yeah, Apple TV. Beta this week, iOS 16.4 Beta 3 was released. Actually, it was released about a day or two before we record this show. Yeah, it's actually on Tuesday. We're on Thursday here. And they did seed the third version of it. The registered developers as well as the public betas are out now. So they've added a few new things, including some new emoji characters, and Safari web push notifications have been added to the iPhone and the iPad. And you can receive them from websites that have been added to the home screen, and there's all kinds of cool things. Third-party browsers like Chrome will be able to let users add websites and websites to their home screen as well. So, and of course, they did reintroduce the HomeKit architecture upgrade, which was a must-need, and some minor updates to Apple Music. So, it looks like believe this is going to be close to probably the last version before we hit WWDC in a couple months here, but who knows? Yeah. They'll probably find some bugs. Did you have any thoughts on that, Ben?
Yeah, I don't see a 16.5 coming out before WWDC.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. To add along with some of the stuff that's here is they've been doing that new rapid security response update. That they just added a second update. This is definitely an interesting way of being able to upgrade for security responses instead of waiting until a full out update comes. So really all they're doing is they're calling it a 16.4b update, and it just changes the version slightly, but not the version number, but not the version of the code of the OS. So it still says 16.4. But this is great. I think this is going to make things simpler when it comes to security updates with this. So definitely going to be interesting. Another thing that's being hinted in beta is also the car key feature. It's going to drop NFC support in the future for some of the older devices. So the car won't be compatible with the iPhone or Apple Watch model. So I think it's going back to, it's saying here you have to have the U1 chip. So which would be the iPhone 11, 12, 13, and 14, and then the Apple Watch 6, 7, and 8, and the Ultra. It also not only does it excludes the older models, it'll exclude the iPhone SE and the Apple Watch SE. So if you have that model, that doesn't have the U1 feature. So I don't have a car key feature in my cards, and who knows, we'll end up having it down the road a bit here. So, guys, any
I'm
comments?
actually not at all interested in that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to me. So
Yeah.
I'm
go ahead.
I think, to be perfectly honest, the people that can afford a car with one of those probably have both the phone and the Apple Watch.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And aren't sweating getting new ones.
No,
I mean, the problem isn't on Apple's hardware side; it's actually getting it into cars.
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely been the challenge here. So, let's go and move on here. Surprise! Actually, this actually was released today as we record this. Apple Music Classical will launch on March 28th with the world's largest catalog of classical music. It's an iPhone only app, and it's going to be free with your existing Apple Music subscription. The app is in the App Store right now as a pre-order, so you can go out into the App Store right now and pre-order it, more or less, if you're an Apple Music subscriber, and it'll be in your queue waited to be downloaded when it's ready in the 28th. If everybody recalls, Apple did acquire the classical music service Prime Phonic back in August of 2021. So they're going almost 2 years since this has been going on. They're making a decision what they're going to do with Apple Music Classical. So this is something super exciting. We got links in the show notes of where the app is, and you can go to download it. I know, Ben, you've had some thoughts about this. You were talking to social media about this a little bit. That you're pretty excited about this, right?
Yeah, I was talking to. Well, I mean, it's classical isn't my cup of tea, but I can completely understand why it has its own app. Classical aficionados can be really particular about the arrangement and the performance.
Mhm.
That's a little bit harder to find stuff if your music app is not specifically tuned.
Right. That is true. And I know, Guy, are you listening to classical music at all? I'm not a big classical music.
Sure, Elvis, Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Classic music, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not classical, which would be Beethoven and Mozart and.
Well, weren't they part of the British invasion?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they were part of the German invasion.
That's a whole different topic.
So they're saying
not that German invasion.
Some of so the catalog has over 5 million tracks, and from new works up to celebrated masterpieces, thousands of exclusive albums. You'll be able to search by composer, work, conductor, or even catalog number, find specific recordings instantly. The highest audio quality up to 192 kilohertz, 24-bit, and high-res lossless with thousands of recordings and immersive spatial audio.
Wow.
So it'll complete
bandwidth.
Complete and accurate metadata to make sure you know exactly what work is and which artist is playing, and editorial notes. The people love reading a lot of stuff. Their biographies, a description of the key works, and all kinds of stuff. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see where this goes. If you're a classical musical fan, classical music fan, this is definitely going to be something for you. We got links in the show notes about everything that you want to know about this, and I guess a good reason why this app wasn't bundled in iOS with Apple Music, it needed to be separated, and Apple Music really is a good idea. So to make it a standalone app, and to be optimized for classical music, I think it was smart that they're going to do this. Where Apple Music is on every iPhone and iPad, it's part of the system. Apple Musical Classic is a separate app, so it can be downloaded as your option. And they'll probably be able to update it more frequently whenever anything changes beyond what the Apple Music app is, because you don't see that app updated too often.
I could also see them launching other apps in music styles similar to classical, like jazz and show tunes.
Yeah, they could separate that out too. It's very possible. So good deal for those of you who are into classical music. So go in the pre-order, and you got until March 28th before this gets kicked off. I mean, I believe there's classical music in the Apple Music app as it is, but not anywhere near as catalog like this is. So, it's definitely gonna be cool. So, I wanted to talk a little about iCloud. We haven't talked about it in quite a while. iCloud does have some of the great features that they've added in iCloud Plus. If you have an iCloud Plus account,
easy for you to say.
Yeah, easy to see twice here. Subscription. You have extended features, including hide my email, custom email domains, private relay, HomeKit, secure video, and then of course you get to do family sharing with your with your family. There is great features in the iCloud app, but everybody doesn't know where. I've talked about this before, that the iCloud.com website, when you go to it on the web, they really did a great job of making this thing so user friendly, and you can customize it and change where things are. have all your apps laid out in one place. You got your hide my email, which I love hide my email. Have you guys been using hide my email? I do. I use it quite a bit. I like to be able to, you can hide your email as well as, sign in with Apple when you go to a website. That's also part of it because you can tell it if you want to hide your email or not. But you also can create ones too, because there's times I subscribe to crap and I like stuff, and it's so crappy, and I'm so tired of. I want to unsubscribe, and then they don't unsubscribe to you. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use this email. And if they don't stop, I'll just get rid of the email. I don't care about it because it goes right to my main Mac.com, which I have, and iCloud.com email address. Ben, do you use the hide my email a lot, or?
Oh yes.
Yeah. I think it's just a great thing, and just keeps things filtered out, and and Apple gives this to you as part of everything, and it's not having to get a separate account with somebody to have these these types of spam emails, we call them.
Yeah, I've actually abandoned email addresses because of the spam problems.
Okay, so you're exclusively using hide my email then?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Do you use it, Guy?
I did when it first came out, and I found the interface to be a little confusing. I don't know how much it's changed since then. If it's become more user-friendly, then certainly for services that I just wanted to, like one of the services that I'm checking out right now is a service that allows you to upload some audio, and it'll create like a voice that copies that. And there's a couple services that do that. And it's like, oh God, do I just give them each my 2 or 3 different Gmail accounts and then, spend the rest of eternity fighting off how many spam crap I'm going to get from each one of those.
Yep.
But when I first used it, it was kind of like, cause I tried it with, and part of the problem was I shouldn't have done it the way I did. I used it with, it wasn't Ticketmaster. It was some other service that was similar to that.
Right.
And then because I started using that service, then I got kind of confused over, well, wait a second, what is this? And how does that work? And I ended up just going into my account in that service and changing it to like one of the main emails that I use, just because it made it easier to keep track of it. But for things like, you just want to try something out, it's a great way to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And the other cool thing is, as part of your iCloud account, you can add other alternative email addresses. Like I have an Outlook.com email address, so I can actually have it forwarded to, if I don't want to use my Apple ID, I can use one of the other ones to set that particular spam preventer to go to another email address in its place, and you can add multiple ones too, which is great. So hide my email and sign in with Apple kind of work together. You can make these accounts active or inactive, so you can flag it. Maybe you want to make it inactive for a while, and then you can go back and use it again without having to create a new one. So that kind of gives you some good options too. The other one which is really cool, is a custom email domain. I got a domain set up that I set up. It can be a little tricky, but most who are listening to the show are probably pretty tech savvy, which you can add your own domain. So you click add, and then you have it as an option where it can be only for you, or you can have it for you and other people. So you put the domain in, then you got to put all the settings in. That gets a little geeky as far as MX records and redirection and DNS and all that stuff. So, but you can go through there and add it. I've had a domain added here for a while. Cool thing is that I can add multiple, on the one domain, I can add multiple email addresses. So if I want to add multiple emails, I can do that. Just go to my domain and say, manage email addresses, and I can add a few more. I believe you get up to like 6 or 7 or something like that. So I do have a domain that's in there. So have you guys set this up at all? I think this is awesome to have it as an alternative. No?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. So
I looked at it and it was hard enough to get my email set up with the service that I currently use, so vertshark.com.
Okay.
But to try to set one up through Apple, it was not intuitive for me.
Okay.
For me, I have to unravel everything in Google first.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's
th-
that.
yeah, since it was, I did previously use it as a uh, through a Google custom domain,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
might go and buy raythichtech.com.
oh, better grab it now that you said it.
Yeah.
uh, uh, a couple other things I'll talk about as far as other features. Private relay allows you to be able to set any of your devices so it keeps your IP address hidden. I do have a article here as well as in here as well as how you can disable actually your private relay at a specific website on the iPhone, iPad. So that has an option as well. That, so you if you want to just unfilter to allow your IP address to be seen on a specific website that you're on that you feel safe, you can do that. That's one of the other cool features. The HomeKit secure video is pretty awesome because you can get a HomeKit based camera, and there's
Yeah,
a whole
CCTV
list.
cameras.
Yeah, and under the accessories, there's quite a list of cameras that and it keeps growing. I'm gonna put here. I'll put a link here in the show notes here from on Apple's app for the Home app, and you can go here and there's all kinds of stuff that's in here, and cameras being one of them. You go to the cameras link, and it just has a whole slew of them. Like Eve is in there, Eufy, Ecobee, D-Link. There's just a whole ton of them. So I'll have that link in the show notes here. You can see that as well because I think that's something that's I kind of may want to explore at some point because I like this and compared to paying all this money to Google that I'm paying right now with my Nest Cam on my doorbell. So family sharing is awesome because I'm sharing all my services with my family, and you can share it with up to 5 other people in your family, and people are getting advantage because I have the Apple One bundle. They get the advantage of taking advantage of my iCloud storage, so they feel much more confident that they can back up all their photos. So that's great. Um, Also, in the iCloud.com site you can go to is the data recovery section. I think this is pretty awesome. You can go in and do restoring of files if anything gets deleted. It does store them for up to 30 days. Bookmarks, if you lose any bookmarks in Safari. What I like the best is restoring contacts and restoring calendars. If anything that you lose in any of those, and that does happen pretty frequently, you have that option to restore the contacts, which is I've lost some contacts in the past, and it's like, this is awesome because I used the contacts in there, and I was able to restore some things that I always seem to lose. You guys use any of those?
I
Not,
did
go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
I did happily find the recovery stuff,
Mhm.
which I wish number one, Apple would have said something about it.
Yeah,
And
I just kind
two,
of found it by just happening to hear
accident.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And two, would be available beyond the web interface.
Right. Which they haven't done yet. You have to go to the
Yeah.
web. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
I have tried to go to iCloud.com in Safari on an iPhone, but it's a little tricky to do it.
Yeah.
You have to go to
'Cause-
your Mac to do it.
Yeah, because that's a pretty killer feature.
It really is. It really is. So make sure to check that out. So as far as pricing goes for iCloud Plus, you've got if you go with the Apple One bundle, which I do, I pay $32.95 a month, and it includes every single app, including News Plus and Arcade and iCloud Plus and all the full package of stuff. But if you're not into that, you just want to get iCloud on itself, you have 3 choices of storage space. There's the 50 gig, the 200 gig, or the 2 terabyte. And I've got the 2 terabyte as that when I share with my family, and everything is included with that that we just talked about. And again, you could all 3 plans can be shared with 5 family members. 50 gig may not go very far if you have 5 family members on a family sharing plan. So, but I got that link in the show notes as well. So check it out. I think it's a really cool thing.
It is.
a real cool thing that they do with iCloud. It's really improved. I mean, over the years, going back to MobileMe and all the other services in the past, I think Apple's really finally has made this good here. So,
And
as I
this may
mentioned-
sound like blasphemy, but it
Yeah.
actually works really well through the cloud interface on Windows as well.
yeah. Oh no, you're right. And Webb Bixby, how you doing, Webb? He's in the chat here on YouTube and says, "So what if you don't like your family?" Well, I don't know, Webb.
Well, then the hell with them.
yeah,
Yeah, then don't invite him to your iCloud.
yeah. Don't invite him to your iCloud, Webb.
I've got 2 terabytes of storage, bitches. What you got?
That's right. So thanks. Good to see you, Webb. So as I wanted to mention, as I mentioned, the how to disable a iCloud private relay for a specific website. There, I have a link in the show notes from my favorite site, OSX Daily, and they show like if you want to allow Wikipedia to temporarily see your IP address, you may want to open that up to them. So well, you can go in, and the way you do it is you go into the site into Safari. On the left side where the web address is, you type the 2 little AA buttons on the address bar. You tap it, and then you have the option to say show IP address. So you can temporarily unhide your IP address if needed, because sometimes sites potentially need that. But I don't know if you do it too often, but isn't something that's too terribly bad to do to open that up here a bit. Let's see where we're at here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, one other tip here, how to unsend emails and in for the iPhone and iPad in the Mail app. It's been there, we type out an email and we have a problem and you want to say, oh crap, I want to unsend this. And the way you do this is it is available for the Mac, for iPhone and iPad, as long as the device is running iOS 16 and newer. You compose an email address, you send it, and immediately you see, oh crud, I just messed up. So once you go to the bottom of the screen, you can tap undo send, and it will undo the sending of that email you had just sent. But you got to act quickly because it doesn't last long. So, but at least Apple has added that, doing that as well. So, but there is an option there. You actually can change the delay of for using undo send as well if you want to actually add more time, less time, or recall an email address. There's a link in there for the show notes as well. One other tip I wanted to talk about here is the HomePod Mini and the temperature, the actual temperature and humidity settings in the HomePod Mini and the HomePod second gen. Have you guys tried this at all? Do you have HomePod Minis?
I do.
How's it been for you, Ben, as far as the HomePod Mini?
Well, right now I can tell you it's between 66 and 67 degrees right over there.
That's awesome. And then it shows humidity too, which is great. And it's built in. It was built into the HomePod Minis from day one. So whenever you bought them, they're going to be there. And unfortunately, I have the HomePod first gen, and I'm out of luck with that one. But the second gen that just came out is going to give you that option. So, and you access this through the Home app. So it does show the humidity and the temperature. Assuming it's set up properly, and I think it's pretty cool. Have you used that guy at all?
Not yet. Knew it was there, but hadn't done it yet. But now I'm interested, so I will have to check that out.
Well, I'm glad I could pique your interest.
Yeah.
I will say this: why it's good with a decent enough experience through the Home app. Apple, you need a HomePod app.
Yeah, I think you need to have separate, because it's such a pain to go in the app, the Home app, and then having to navigate to a HomePod. It really is. So.
And then if you want to do anything, go into the home settings. It's just a pain in the butt.
No, 62 to 63 degrees.
There you go.
43 to 44% humidity.
Wow, that's high humidity in your house.
Yeah.
We're all ironically about the same as mine.
Yeah. So that is the show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. There was some great info. Thanks to you guys for the interaction and the great conversation about the topics for this week. But let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter @InTouchWithIOS. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We would really appreciate it. You can also become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Webb, for becoming a Patreon in the last couple weeks here. Much appreciated. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe when you are so you are notified when we are live streaming, which is on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios, where you can watch the live stream like that Webb and Paul did, and others. And you also can go back and watch the live stream later, as well as all the past shows in audio format are there as well. You can also subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, which includes Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the links, all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Mastodon at DaveG65 at Mastodon.cloud, or I'm also on Twitter at DaveG65. Ben Rathick, thank you again for being here. As always, it's always a great time to have you on the show. And where can people find you?
Well, Dave, first, thank you for having me. Second of all, you can find me on your social media choice at Ben Rathig. You can also find me at my permanently interim site at rathigtech.blogspot.com.
Okay, Jeff. Thank you. Interim host. Guys, Cyril, always a pleasure having you on the show. Where can people find
It's good to be seen. You can contact me through email, and that would be guy@mymac.com. I am Mac Parrot and Vert Shark over on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot over there on Mastodon, as well as Counter Social. I have a website that I haven't updated in about 3 months because I'm just so lazy. That's vertshark.com. I've got the vertshark.com YouTube channel with all of the crazy stuff that I do, like Guy's Daily Drive, where I talk to people live on my way to work because I can. And of course, our Skype telephone number, which is 1 or +1 outside the United States, 703-436-9501. Oh.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank everybody here for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really appreciate you listening, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you, guys.
What?
That's a good show. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
I need to put my Google Voice number in there too, eventually.
Probably should.
No idea
Skype.
what it is. I've got to find
Skype
it.
is.
Yeah, and the only reason why I still have that number is because I've just had it since 2009, maybe earlier than that. Maybe going all the way back to when Dave and I were doing the My Mac podcast before Gaz came on. I can't remember exactly when I got that Skype telephone number, but I've had it for like forever. I need to find, because you've got the guys over at the Mac Geek Gab, and they've actually gone to the trouble of finding the numbers that spell out geek at the end of their telephone number. And so I need something that's like duh, or sick, or something that's really bizarre that will make people sit there and say, I want to call that number just so I can say duh. But we'll see. So far, I don't think I think you would be hard pressed.
Call on that number. So I mean,
on what, the 9501 number?
Yeah,
we've actually gotten. There's a couple people that call it actually quite often. There's a guy in New York and a guy in South Carolina, and I don't want to say any names, and a guy in Minnesota that calls us on a regular basis.
Oh,
but the mymac.com podcast is one of those shows that you listen to when you're tired of serious Mac and Apple shows because we're not at all serious. It's like, you're going to get a lot from our show. It won't necessarily be something that'll help you all that much, but you're going to have a good time listening to it. And somebody has to be that show. Somebody has to be that show. And that's Gaz and me since 2009. God, 13 years, 14 years now.
I've been doing the show since 2016. I can't believe it. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years.
Tim has been podcasting since 2000.
Serious. We always have fun on this show.
Yeah. Tim Robertson started the My Mac podcast back in 2004.
Yep. That's when podcasting was in its infancy at that point.
Yeah, I used to do a segment on that show called the Dashboard Minute back when Mac OS Tiger was still a thing, and it was like, oh yeah, dashboard widgets, they're forever, man. They're going to be there till the end of time.
I find that audio that'd be funny to listen to.
Oh, it was so bad because it sounded different, and I know that my audio. I'm the mic guy and I keep switching to all this other weird shit. But back then I had no idea what I was doing. And the audio would just sound completely, not only would it sound bad, but it would sound bad differently every single week. So, I had that going for me. Yeah. And a show called the Dashboard Minute that was always about 5 minutes long. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with that statement.
Slightly wrong.
And then Tim made the mistake of inviting me on to be a regular host, and it's been a wild ride ever since. I think that was 2006.
And then the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe, because I'm going to be 63 years old this year, and I started podcasting when I was in my 40s. Yeah.
I think I just missed. I was 50, a little over 50 when I started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at least you have a Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
I've got a Kia Soul. What the hell's wrong with me?